Hello, it's Ashley. How are you doing? Just posting really because I thought I'd sort of do some vlogs as to how I'm doing, like mentally and stuff like that. And I think it'll give people some idea of what mental illness is like on a day-to-day basis. Um, for those that don't know, I run the Speak Up podcast, a mental health awareness platform. I did it back in 2022 because I was sick of people like being ignorant about mental health and stuff like that. And everyone's heard of anxiety and depression, and everyone thinks, oh, everyone's depressed. That's not the case. The depression and sadness is two different things, and you know what? To trivialize depression is really damaging. Um, Not everybody's depressed. That's bullshit. That's wrong. Um, people can get sad and stuff and stuff like that, but that's different to depression and all the other illnesses as well. I wanted to raise awareness of those, like schizophrenia, the psychotic illnesses, where you see things and you hear things, and the more severe end, because you know what, nobody really talks about that. And you know what, I've suffered from some of those illnesses myself, so I know what it's like. So and for those that don't know me, just a brief history. I've had 10 years of experience in psychiatric um, services on the NHS. In and out of community mental health teams. I've seen psychiatrists privately outside the system, and I've seen them. I've seen like 4 or 5 on the NHS. So I know what it's like with complex mental health illnesses. I know what it's like to suffer from those, and I just thought that maybe I could do a vlog on that, and start videoing and putting it on Facebook and stuff and getting people aware of it, really. To be honest with you, I've been suffering from severe depression recently, and I've not really had the vigour for life, and I've been suffering from anhedonia, anhedonia is basically where you get no joy from stuff that you used to get joy from. So hobbies and interests, I don't get any joy from that. Even stuff like showering and washing myself, do you know what? I can go weeks without doing that. And that sounds gross and disgusting, but do you know what? It is what it is, I'm ill, do you know what I mean? It's like a physical illness. You wouldn't laugh at someone or joke about someone with a broken arm or leg, so why do we do that for mental health? Why is mental health so far down the list? It really annoys me, to be honest with you, you know. Um I won't lie to you. I've been close to crisis recently, and really thought about ringing the crisis line on the NHS. But you know what? All I'll get is, do you want, have a nice bath, have a cup of tea, just nice words, really, but nothing else behind it. And yeah, you might say, well, what do you expect? But what I expect is specialised help, because they're trained to deal with people in crisis. These people have been to university and had degrees and things like that, and they're meant to be specialised professionals, not people that want to advise you to have a cup of tea with 2 sugars and a milk. So I think it's not on. It's not on, really. We pay our taxes for a system that's failing people, and I think that's what makes me angry, really. I mean, yeah, the NHS has saved my life in so many ways, but certainly mentally, it's let me down. And yeah, mental health doesn't have the funding it deserves, but we can blame the government, but let's blame the NHS as well, because you know what, the NHS and the government are both to blame. In my view, as someone that has experience of dealing with psychiatry on the NHS. There's so many middle managers on the NHS that have been paid a top dollar wage. Why are they being paid a top dollar wage to be a middle manager when we could cut their bloody wage and then save someone's life? Do you know what I mean? So it's not on, really. But that's talking politics. I won't get into that. But you know, there's so many things I could argue all day about. But this is just a vlog, really, introducing the topic, really, that I am really suffering at the minute, and I've got an appointment on the 1st of June with a psychiatrist. I was meant to wait till August. They gave me an appointment in August, the local mental health team, which I think is disgusting, to be honest with you. Yeah, you can argue that that's the state of affairs, that's the average waiting time, but still, it's no good. Waiting 3 months for a medication review is ridiculous, in my view. So, you know, to be honest with you, it's not on. So I complained, and now I've got an appointment on the 1st of June in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, so basically, that's it really. So I've got 2 weeks to wait, but it's really difficult when you're depressed and when you're down and stuff like that, and people do your head in at home and stuff like that, and you get called a slob because of the way you live, because you don't have the energy to do anything. You don't have the energy to wash, you don't have the energy to do basic stuff, and people don't understand it because they think, well, everyone's depressed. No, not everyone's depressed. That's called sadness. People get sad, everyone gets sad. That's called sadness, that's not depression. Depression is a mental health disorder, and especially if it's at the severe end, like myself, I've got complex mental health needs, it's not just a run-of-the-mill depression, and I'm not trying to say I'm a special case, because there's people out there that are worse than me, but do you know what, we're being failed, and we're paying taxes for it, and it's wrong. And we can blame the government and the NHS, yeah, they're both to blame, but, it's disgusting what's going on in the world right now. But I just wanted to post really just for awareness really more than anything, and hope you're all well, and you guys take care. I'll keep you all posted about what happens. But yeah, this is the start of the vlogs that I'm going to be posting. And if you don't care about mental health, scroll by. I don't care, but it's just the way it is. You guys take care, and bye bye for now.